If in the next 1 minute of this video, you click off, scroll to the comments, or get distracted without giving your full attention to the story I'm about to tell you, you might have a problem with a specific area of your brain. Now don't be alarmed, as the majority of people have this problem nowadays, and I will tell you what it is in just a moment. But if you actually watch this video until the very end, you will take that first step towards recovering from this issue, so listen carefully. It's early summer in the 90s. School finished early, and George is in his room playing his favorite Nintendo game. He's excited about summer as he will have more time to hang out with his friends, spend time in nature, and of course, play more video games. That's what George thought about gaming. It's just a way to kill some time when you don't have other stuff going on. But what George didn't know back then, however, is how much gaming will change in just a few decades. Fast forward to current times. Gaming is not simple shapes on the screen that require you to use your imagination anymore. It's more than a $200 billion industry that just keeps on growing. In fact, the gaming industry is now bigger than the film and music industries combined. Gaming is more popular than ever, but it's not about just playing video games as much as video games are playing you. The problem that I talked about in the beginning is the area of your brain responsible for your focus and attention. That's why the gaming industry is booming. Video game companies don't compete for just who makes a better game, they compete for who gets and keeps your attention the longest, and then who monetizes it the best. Gaming teams are full of behavioral psychologists, studying human behavior and optimizing their products for their own gain. It reminds us of a time in the 60s when Big Tobacco testified that cigarettes were not addictive, while at the very same time attempting to maximize the amount of nicotine in cigarettes. For Big Tobacco, it was nicotine. For big gaming, it's dopamine. Dopamine is the primary neurotransmitter in our brain responsible for motivation, pursuit, and desire. It's a non-infinite yet renewable resource that is released not only when you take part in a pleasurable activity, but to motivate you towards that pleasurable activity itself. So when you play a video game, for example, and you are completing missions and leveling up, you are constantly being hit with dopamine to keep going and keep achieving. That's why at first video games are so fun. All the stimulation in the game provides you with an almost high-like feeling of positive emotions. Because dopamine is the way your brain's reward circuitry communicates, things that provide you with a lot of dopamine become reinforced behaviors. This is also why gaming can turn into a serious problem. After some time, dopamine receptors in the brain become used to receiving high amounts of dopamine, and less stimulating things like cleaning your room, working on a job, or doing your homework become less desired. They are too boring for your brain. Just think about it. Why would the brain want to complete less stimulating things in real life when it can achieve a higher short-term satisfaction from leveling up in a video game? And that video game is always available, easily accessible, and convenient in your pocket. In addiction, this is called tolerance. Your brain has adapted to a higher, more consistent release of dopamine from gaming, and you now struggle to receive enough dopamine necessary to motivate you towards less pleasurable activities. To compound the problem, instead of seeing it as an issue that is occurring because of excessive gaming, you rationalize it as gaming is fun and everything else is just boring. Now, if you find yourself in this situation, stay tuned until the end of the video because I will share with you how to reverse this issue with your brain so you can actually find other things fun again and improve your motivation. Another issue that gaming causes with your brain is within your pain-pleasure response. You see, our brains operate on two drives. One is to avoid pain and the other is to gain pleasure. Video games provide an instant solution to both. When you're laying on the couch or sitting in your chair gaming, you don't feel physical pain. You are comfortable and physically relaxed. Psychologically, you are also able to disconnect from life's problems and stresses. Your brain tells you when you play video games, you experience a lot of pleasure and avoid pain. As your brain becomes more tolerant to the level of stimulation in games, doing other activities that you find boring feels painful. So gaming is fun and exciting, and life outside gaming is painful. So let's play more video games. As you spend more time playing video games, more and more of your lifestyle and identity revolves around gaming. It becomes the only source of friendships, self-esteem, and meaning in your life, so you continue to rationalize playing more. I don't want to belabor this point, but I hope you're beginning to see how gaming in excess and being too much fun can lead to cognitive distortions and lifestyle changes that compound into larger issues. Earlier, we talked about how gaming is a non-infinite yet renewable resource responsible for motivation, pursuit, and drive. So what you need to do to return to your baseline dopamine levels, which will allow you to feel motivation and drive for other activities, is to wait and try not to trigger more dopamine during that time. How long will you need to wait? It depends on how sensitive your brain is to gaming and its dopamine release, but often it will take at least a few hours or days or even weeks at the extreme end. Gaming, mindless social media, porn consumption, and always checking your phone. All of these things never allow your brain to rest and actually work towards motivating you to achieve great things in life and develop long-term meaning. So if you're not playing video games and you're just scrolling 7-second TikTok videos, blasting your brain with more trash dopamine, don't expect to find motivation you need to actually study for a test or go to the gym. Luckily, there is a way to reboot your brain to its natural state, and we will share that in a second. But first, how many of these signs do you see in yourself? Does your life have a constant stream of dopamine? Do you have a compulsive behavior towards activities like gaming, social media, and porn, yet don't even really enjoy them, but simply feel compelled towards them? Do you notice normal activities that seem pleasurable to other people aren't pleasurable to you? Do you feel this internal struggle with what you should be doing and what you actually end up doing, as if you have no willpower? Now, this isn't medical advice and I'm not a clinician, but if you answered yes to these questions, you may benefit from a reset, which is commonly called a dopamine detox. Taking a break from gaming and other high dopamine activities allows your brain to reset back to normal, natural dopamine baseline levels and reverse other structural changes to your brain. As a general rule of thumb, take a break for 30 to 90 days for the most benefit. You don't have to stop gaming forever, but taking a break for a couple weeks can provide our brains an opportunity to restore back to normal, healthy levels of dopamine again. Whether you find gaming a huge problem for you or just a hobby that you want to keep in check, taking a break for a couple weeks will help you be able to be more motivated, more productive, and enjoy other things that may have seemed boring before. You may not need or want to quit forever, and that's okay. 30 days without gaming will give you the mental clarity and perspective to see what is hard to see when you are stuck inside the gaming world. You'll gain motivation to decide what you want to do, or maybe try for healthy levels of gaming, or if you want to stop for good. Ultimately, that choice is yours. During your dopamine detox, it's not about focusing on no dopamine. That's simply not possible. The goal is to reset the amount of dopamine your receptors can take in a healthy way. It's about being able to let your mind rest from hyper-stimulating activities and instead to be happy with more natural things like exercising, spending time with friends, reading, playing with pets, and eating healthy, high-protein food. When you spend time in silence or doing deep, meaningful work or enjoying the smaller things in life, after a while, you reset your dopamine receptors and they can again be stimulated from accepting smaller amounts of dopamine. You'll no longer find studying or spending time with loved ones boring, especially in comparison to gaming. In fact, after 30 days, you will be blown away at how much your life can change and how much better you can feel. It will almost feel like your brain is no longer broken and controlled by gaming, porn, or social media. All of this is only possible if you take part in the dopamine reset, and that's why I want to present a challenge to you here today. Take the 30-day no gaming detox. 30 days, no gaming. This is an opportunity to break free from gaming, controlling your life, so you can instead build a healthier version of yourself. Imagine how much more confident, social, and productive you can be. If you accept this challenge, join us on Discord, the link's in the description, and post in the detox channel. Myself and others will be in there to support you on your journey. Now, in order to be successful, you'll need to defeat the final boss, boredom. So if you accept this challenge, watch this video for an exact step-by-step guide to avoid boredom and stop gaming for 30 days to regain control over your life. I'll see you there.